VSO marketing manager here. I've got our principal bassoon, Janet Polk, calling in from Durham, New Hampshire. Thanks for chatting with me, Janet.
Oh, my pleasure.
So what was a typical workday like for you back before the pandemic?
Well, I have to preface it by saying that I have, during the school year, I have 4 big jobs. One is the Vermont Symphony, another is Portland Symphony, principal bassoon there. I teach at UNH and I teach at Dartmouth College. So typical is not a word that I use for my life. So Mondays would be UNH, Tuesday private students, Wednesday Dartmouth, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday rehearsals, concerts. I have to look in my book to make sure I point my car in the right direction.
Uh-huh. So you're not busy at all, is basically what you're saying.
Oh, yes. No, I'm just a woman of leisure.
But so now that everything has changed, what does a day look like for you?
Well, it's still not very typical, I have to say, because I don't have performances, but I am still teaching both at UNH and Dartmouth. So Monday, I had to learn all this technology. So that took, a frightening couple of weeks to get that all under control, plus continuing to learn. So Mondays, I was doing 9 to 6 continuous on Zoom with my students at UNH. Tuesday, I was still doing my private students, but on Zoom. Wednesday is still is a full day of teaching at Dartmouth on Zoom. And then Thursday through Sunday is a little free now, but that's okay. I've got house projects that I have to be doing and practicing. I still play every day and I exercise every day. So that's part of the formula for the week.
Nice. So your life has, I'm not going to say it's gone on unchanged, but it's nice that you're still able to kind of keep your big things going.
It is. At least it lets me know what day of the week it is.
Yes. So what's something that people might not realize about being a professional bassoonist that you'd like them to know?
Well, the part of the instrument that actually makes all the sound is the reed, the double reed. I don't know if you can see that. And that bassoon players and oboe players make their own reeds out of a natural material that looks a lot like bamboo. It's actually called arundodonx. So about 25% of the bassoonist time is used in making reeds and then adjusting them for the particular pieces that you're playing.
And so I think this is definitely something that'll be new to people listening, because if they played, say, oboe in band, you can just buy a little ready-made reed, that is suitable for a 5th grader to use. You can't buy, something that you would use.
No, it's too specialized. It's too much nuance that we need in our playing, and different pieces require different kinds of reeds. So I have, just 50 or 60 reeds ready to go for something. I usually narrow that down a little bit to 3 or 4 for a concert, but a reed that plays Stravinsky won't play Beethoven. And so we have to have all these kinds of reeds that do different kinds of things in order to play. So it's a real art form.
Yeah, a lot of arts and crafts for the double reeds, seems like. So what's the most unusual show you've ever played?
Well, this would be a Vermont Symphony Orchestra show back in the 80s. Back in the 80s, there was a 2-year period where the Vermont Symphony celebrated its 50th birthday by sending small groups out into all 251 towns. And I was lucky enough to play in 2 different groups, a quintet and in a trio. And the woodwind trio I had, which was Eleanor Long, was playing oboe. Some people may not even know she played oboe. Steve Klimowski, the clarinetist, who's still in the trio I play now with Anne Greenewald, and then myself. And there are ghost towns in Vermont. There are 6 ghost towns, basically towns that are unincorporated, have very few people in them. And so somebody came up with a great idea of taking the 2 ghost towns in the southern part of the state, Glastonbury and Somerset, and they sent us out, the trio, out into the state forest, the middle of the state forest. Somebody composed a piece for us called the Ghost Town Trio, Ed Lawrence. And then we played that piece, and then we did the first half of the program. We had a nice little group of people there, about 20 people, and then they followed us in their cars, and we went to Somerset, sat next to the reservoir, They sat there, we were joined by other people, and then we played the Ghost Town Trio again, and then finished the second half of our concert. It was a beautiful day. It was just such fun, and what an inspired idea by somebody in the symphony office.
I love that. That's,
That's great.
maybe that's all those towns needed to get more people to come back, is just, some woodwind groups playing there.
Of course, woodwinds are like the Pied Pipers. I don't know. So
So my last question for you is just, what's your favorite Ben and Jerry's flavor?
chocolate chip cookie dough. Is there anything else? I don't know.
All right. Well, thanks for talking with me, Janet.
Thank you, Margot.